today's video, we are going to be talking about none other than Moon Knight Episode 5. Wow, where do I start with this one? Hello guys and welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.
Alright, I guess start with the beginning, but no joke, I swear I absolutely loved this episode. It was, for me, a 10 out of 10, and it's so funny. I believe there was one episode I gave an 8 out of 10. Every episode have been a 9 out of 10. This one I'm giving a 10 out of 10, and I cannot wait to see what happens in episode 6. Now the big question is, okay, so we know the MCU is all connected. Whether it's connected loosely at times, it does build over time of the overall story. So the real question is, where is Moon Knight going to build upon within the next episode? What are we going to see? Are we possibly going to build upon the multi-universe with this episode? I don't know, but I'm interested in finding out within episode 6. It's going to be crazy. Now, of course, when it comes to our main character, Steve Grant, aka Mark, what is going on with this character in this episode is crazy. So, we already know that he's dead, and that he's all in his own mind, just like I thought he was. That is pretty much confirmed that he is within his own head. And then he meets, he meets a giant hippo goddess. She has the scales. And she is going to scale their hearts to see if they are worthy to pass on into the next life. Which is interesting because they're both souls. So here's the thing. I kept saying, okay, Steve Grant is a second soul in the same body, but actually this episode confirms that that is not true. It's just one entity broken apart. She actually grabs both of the hearts. They are literally put on the scales together. It is one heart split into two that is going up against the scales to see if they can pass on or not. But there is chaos within this heart. It's unknown whether or not it should go on, or if it should just follow into the steps of the deaths of all the ones that were, all the lost souls that were traveling in the sand. So here we go. The only way to find out is for, of course, our boy Mark to go into his past and find out what's been causing his whole troubles. We get to really dive into his backstory and Steve Grant's backstory as well. And I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting Steve Grant to be a second person, but no, it's actually just Mark being a completely broken mind, to the point where he can even, his mind has broken so much to the point where he's literally a second entity within his own mind. It's actually pretty crazy how they explained it. And basically what happens, the story goes, is that Mark, it turns out that he had a little brother, okay? And him and his brother went down one day into a little cave just to have fun, just to enjoy themselves. But unfortunately, the rain fell, and he unfortunately passed. His brother unfortunately passed. It's implemented that he might have killed him to survive. Now that is seriously difficult. Survival of the fittest, survival of it's a terrible thing. But within like nature and stuff like that, sometimes if you can get out, you gotta save yourself before you can save somebody else. It would be greater to save everybody. It would be greater to save your family and sacrifice yourself to save your family. But sometimes, especially when you're a small child, you don't have that choice. And he didn't really have that choice. I don't think he did. I don't think he absolutely went and thought, okay, I'm going to kill this guy so I can survive. He was just a child. I really do think he just wanted to live, and it ended up that his brother did not survive. That's the whole deal there. And yeah, it was really sad to see, eventually Steve Grant and him go through literally Mark's mind, and there's this room full of these people that Steve has, Mark has of course killed as the moonknight. But then there's that child, there's his little brother. Why is there a child among everybody else? We find that answer, and it's really gruesome. I really just think that he just wanted to survive, that he didn't want to hurt his brother. In fact, I don't think that he even hurt his brother, but it's because of his mom. His mom, her own trauma that brought trauma to him. She outlasted against him for her own trauma, for what happened. She blamed him. And what was crazy about that is it was so bad that it broke the man's mind in complete two. Mark saw that there was a poster, of this guy who could never do so wrong, has a perfect family, has a perfect life, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to forget all of the trouble and trauma that he's gone through. And so, he created Steve Grant. And at first, Steve Grant was only created to, please his own mind, basically, put his own mind to rest. But eventually, as it gone on, the mind splits even further. And Steve Grant was never supposed to know that Steve wasn't real. Steve Grant was never supposed to know that Mark was indeed the real one, and that the only reason why Steve insists is because Mark is a broken man. That was absolutely not expected. I honestly thought it was just going to be a situation of two minds, one body. But that's not what happened at all. And eventually, they get out. They of course want to get back to life. They want to end up saving the world, especially when they find out that there are several souls that are just being torn down from the earth and brought down upon land. Why? Because Ahmed has returned. They gotta stop Ahmed before Ahmed takes all souls to the ground, right? No one having a chance to live their lives. And so Steve's gotta save him. Mark's gotta save him. And I did like when Steve eventually got up and started kicking butt as well to help Mark. What was really crazy though is Mark fell off the platform. Mark fell off the boat. Mark was turned to stone. Mark was let go. Mark literally... No, Steve. I have the wrong person. Steve Grant was the one that fell off. Now, part of me is like, wow, that's really interesting. Another part of me is like, I really like Steve. I'm sorry, I wanted more Steve than I wanted Mark. Why did you kill off Mark? I'd rather have Steve because I really like Steve, but Mark is a great character. After Steve falls off into the sand and is turned to stone, destined to be captured by that forever, Mark having to let Steve go finally calmed his mind, and he is finally let in through heaven, in through the reeds. Okay, so he is dead, but I'm thinking what's gonna happen now is Mark is going to have to save the moon god. You know, the moon god is somewhere in the reeds, right? He's captured, but he's somewhere out there. So all Mark has to do is go and save him and hopefully get back to being brought back to life and then fight on it. Either that will happen or Mark saves the moon god and he actually goes for Mark's girlfriend and turns her into Moon Knight. Part of me would kind of think that would be really cool. Part of me doesn't know if I would like that because I really want to know more about Mark's story. More about Steve Grant's story. And if they cut it off here and just do some other character, granted they build up her as well very well in this series, I really feel like, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. I don't know, because on the one hand, I would really like to see Mark and Steve Grant's story continue and save the day. But at the same time, their story looks like it's at its end of the rope, right? So, I'm not saying that they couldn't go for the female version of Moon Knight. You know, I'm not against that. I'm just saying that it would be interesting. It would be cool. It would kind of finish her story arc as well. I can get that. I would like to see that. But at the same time, I'm more interested in what Mark is going to do. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. They've obviously hinted at the fact that she was supposed to be his avatar in the first place, right? The only reason why she's not his avatar is because Mark decided that he's gonna be the avatar to protect her from the role, you know, which is interesting. And so he can also survive, you know, after he died. And he was on his death's door. He was going to die, and it was because of the moon god that he was saved and became the moon's fist, became the Moon Knight, the fist of vengeance for the knights. That I can't wait to find out what happens in episode 6. But I was not expecting episode 5 to be that good. And man, I'm telling you, that one scene, props to the actor, man, because there is this one scene where Mark is running down the street out of breath. He collapses. Looks like he's about to die himself right then and there. And then Steve Grant awakens, and he just doesn't remember where he's at. Wow. That's been happening from the beginning when it comes to Mark. It's interesting. It's a really good story. I really have enjoyed Moon Knight as a series. It ends next episode, and I don't know how it's gonna end. I almost don't want it to end the way I think it's gonna end, but I think it's gonna end with her actually becoming the Moon Knight and Mark going on to literally heaven. But I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes in the next episode. Will Moon Knight get a season 2? I don't see it. I think this really could be just a one-off series, a one-off show. And if it is, man, I'm telling you, this was fantastic. Let's see if season 6 episode 6 of the show, the finish. Let's see if they can finish the show on a high note. So far, though, it's got a 10 out of 10. It's got 9s all across the board except for 1 8. Yeah, let's see if they can wrap it up in this last season, and build up possibly another season, or possibly build up more of the multiverse. Let's see what they do in the next episode. With that said, guys, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about Moon Knight episode 5. It was definitely nothing I was expecting, but hey, I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was a good episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.